Welcome to Steps Forward with Ricky, a weekly walking podcast designed to help you take steps forward in your life and your day. Hello. Happy Monday. Whatever day you're listening to this, whatever hour you're listening to this, it is a new day, a new hour, and a fresh start. So before we begin, just some logistics if you're new here. This is a walking podcast, so we walk as we listen. If you're old here, I love you and appreciate you. And excited to always be here. I'm in the studio right now before I head back to California. I love being in the studio. And it feels great. This podcast is so many things to me, and I hope that you feel connected to it, and I hope that it's really helping you, and that you know everything that I say, it comes from the heart and it's genuine. So I'm like kind of annoyed because it's like fucked up, okay? We're going to talk about something that I think people don't talk about. I don't know. I've never talked about it before. So, I believe in my heart that I like, everything with my TikTok community and my walking away from weed and my podcast, like everything I do is just it's from like the most genuine place in the world. Like I love you guys and I want to help and I want to give back to everybody. And it's so interesting to me. And I think because I've healed so much and I feel so good internally and externally, I just feel so confident in myself. And this is not to make you feel bad if you're not in that place. I just want you to know that you can get to these places like 100%. It's so interesting to me because now that I'm running these walking away from weed programs and I'm having more confidence in myself, maybe I'm charging for certain things. I'm getting a lot of people like a lot of backlash, not too much backlash, but some people are like, you're taking advantage of people, et cetera, et cetera. And you know what I realized is that, I didn't really value myself before, like at all, in any ways. Just so many things in my life, I just devalued my gifts. I devalued myself. I devalued my worth, how much money I should make. I've had to work really hard at valuing myself. Financially, emotionally, mentally, physically. I don't know if you can relate to that. Like I've had to work really hard at being like, I don't want to do that unless you pay me more. Or I don't want to do that because I don't want to do that. Or just creating boundaries, right? Like, when we feel a certain way about ourselves, that reflects on the choices that we make. And so for me, I felt so bad about myself for so long. I had no confidence in myself. So I let a lot of things slide. Bending the prices, bending the situation, bending the rules because I didn't know that I could do better. And that's what trauma and pain does to us. It keeps us stuck in old stories. And for a really long time, I had this story that I couldn't create community. I couldn't lead people the way I wanted to just by being myself. I couldn't create live coaching programs because, I'm not the best at like 7-week programs. That's just not my style. I couldn't change people's lives just through my words. I mean, these were the stories I told myself. And then when I healed these stories, because I healed myself, not realizing I was healing these stories really, I was just healing myself, walking away from weed and starting my podcast and going on the road and ending my relationship, like and going into therapy and working on all of these stories, these beliefs. I broke down these beliefs. And now I'm doing that stuff. Like, how cool is that? I'm hosting live coaching groups the best way that I know how, by communicating and speaking and relating to people and building community. I'm not a slideshow girl. I'm not a here are your documents, fill them out kind of girl. And I think for so long, I was trying to be somebody I wasn't. Like I can't be successful unless I do it this way, unless I charge this price, unless I hire this person. And I think since I've healed so much of myself, maybe you can relate to this, maybe this inspires you. I don't know. It's like I've gotten to a place now where I know my value. I know my worth. I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm not good at. I'm not going to create a program and charge a certain amount of money if I don't feel like that's what I deserve. I'm also not going to create something that doesn't feel energetically aligned with who I am. And so when I put something out there like the Walking Away from Weed program, which I'm obsessed with, this is the first time in my life. I was a life coach for 11 years. This is the first time in my life that I have felt so passionate and so genuinely excited about something that I know works, that I know is just transformative Obviously, I've run a couple groups now. I know that from that point of view, but it's not even about that. I know that because I'm so energetically aligned with it. Someone said something amazing. I listened to a podcast. I don't remember who it was. Maybe Jay Shetty. He said, like, people buy people's energy, right? They buy their energy. They're inspired by people's energy and the way they move and the way they speak. It's not necessarily what they're selling. And he said, like, I realized that people wanted so much of my energy. They wanted 2 hours of my time, and this was the price for it. But then I started thinking, I'm not even that good at 2 hours. I'm energetically better for 30 minutes. So why can't I just charge the same amount for 30 minutes? You get all of me versus 2 hours of just like half of me. And that made me realize that I can create things. You can create things based on who you are. And so because I've healed all these stories, I'm now doing live coaching and I'm creating videos and I'm doing these things that are energetically aligned with me. Maybe that's why I enjoy them so much, because the more energetically aligned I am with them, the more you're going to get from me. And so when someone says something to me about I'm a fraud or monetizing something, it's like, yeah, I'm going to charge for my worth. And I'm going to offer the value. And I'm not worried about this person not getting what they need out of it. They're going to get more out of it. We all need to know our worth more. And I think for me, I'm trying to work on my relationship with money too, like, to be honest with you, because that's what it comes down to. It's an exchange of energy. It's like, okay, if I have a better relationship with money and with myself, then I'll create things that are more aligned with myself, and I can create things that help people more. I'm a genuine person. I'm not worried about someone thinking that I'm not. But I don't want anyone to ever think that I'm trying to take advantage of them. Like, this is a real problem. Walking away from weed, changing your life, those are real things. Not everyone has the ability to hire people. I get that. But we're living in a world. And the world, there are services and there are resources. Some of them are free, some of them aren't. And I was just so pissed this morning. I wasn't that pissed, but I was. This like guy wrote on my TikTok, like, you're a fraud, you're this, you're that. And like, I wasn't like really pissed. I just was like, you know what? Maybe 6 months ago that maybe like would have made me feel bad about myself. But now I just look at that and I'm like, it's not for you. That's okay. Don't question every decision you make. Don't question your worth. I get to change people's lives on a daily basis, doing something I enjoy. I'm grateful for that. I'm good at it. You're good at what you do. Don't forget that. Yeah, I just like, I used to be so scared to put myself out there like that. And I think a lot of the times before, like when I had programs and coaching with my first company, Break the Weight, when I was a life coach, I don't know if I was so energetically behind it. I was still smoking. I was still suffering. So I think because now I'm feeling so good about myself and I know that this is like a big step forward for me, I'm so energetically aligned with it. I like have fun putting it out there. So I guess my whole point is that, like, know your worth. Know that you're going to get people who don't care and do not think that you're worth that. And that's okay. The right people will show up at the right time. And if you're listening to this and you want to join the program, you should. Maybe you're listening to this and you can't right now. That's okay. I love you. I'm here. I'm here no matter what, always. Because we can be both. We can value ourselves and we can create value. We can have resources and we can have paid resources. We can be everything, right? And I'm always going to be like that because the most important thing to me is impact. I want to feel good about what I'm doing and I want you to feel good about it. I want you to feel good in general. And I don't know. I've never really talked about money on here. But I think money has a lot to do with how you feel about yourself too, like what you believe about yourself. And I think for me, because I didn't believe in myself for a long time, I didn't believe that I could make money or I could at least do it the way that made me feel good about who I was. So it's exciting. I'm excited. I hope this inspires you to chase after your dreams or to take your pain and turn it into something or to just believe in yourself more. Believe in your value. And the haters, they're going to say something no matter what. My producer said it's great that I have haters. It means I'm going somewhere. I'm doing something right. And I think before I would have been triggered by that. Like I need everyone to like me. But the topic that I talk about is so controversial, it's impossible. And I don't care. Because you're getting help from this. Because every day you walk with me, and you show up, and that's all that matters. So just remember who you are, and remember what you're good at. And remember that if you have to sacrifice any of your energy to get something done, it's probably not for you. And don't let anyone tell you what you're worth. You decide that. You have to believe that. I mean, I think I would have said I was worth more before, but I don't know that I actually believed it. Now I believe it. And when you believe something, right? Like I believed that I could walk away from weed. I believed I could do this road trip. I believed that I could heal. I always wanted those things before, but I didn't believe that I could do them. So, yes, not everyone's going to agree with everything you do or the prices you do them at, but that's okay. Don't stop doing them because of it. Keep doing it. Stay firm on what you believe in. Keep pushing, because if it's the right offer and the right decision, the right thing, even if not everyone agrees with it, the right people will show up for it. It's funny because a lot of people told me that, like after the first 2 episodes of my podcast, they said like, maybe you should bring guests on. You can't keep just only talking about yourself, Ricky. And I'm like, yeah, I can. My people will find me. I can do whatever I want. This is my podcast. My people will find me. And they did. And I didn't have to sacrifice who I was for that to happen. So let this be a reminder to trust yourself. Believe in yourself. Throw your ideas out there. Some of them will work, some of them won't. Throw your prices out there. Some of them will work, some of them won't. But don't let anyone tell you what you need to do or what you should do. Get advice, take suggestions, get feedback. But at the end of the day, like sit with yourself and don't forget who you are. Because who you are is what's going to make you successful. And that's my rant for today. It really is. It's just like honestly all I have to say. And I think it's an important conversation. And at the end of the day, I'm a speaker and a mentor and a podcaster, and I'm also a businesswoman. And I'm fucking proud of that. And I don't know that I had the confidence to feel that before. So if anything if you get anything from this episode, it has nothing to do with money. It's really to do with just like you can always step into your worth and you can always step into your confidence. And like where you're at now is not permanent. And who the hell knows where you'll be in 3 months or 5 months or 6 months from now if you just keep working on yourself. Do the things that will get you to where you're trying to go. Even if you're not sure where you're trying to go, do them anyways. Because the road will change and the path will be windy and it might take you somewhere where you never thought you could be. Okay? Okay, Ricky. Okay. Love you guys. This is a shorter episode. And don't compromise who you are to get where you want to go. I'll see you guys next Monday.